7, 8, 9, 10. Good deal like a wagon wheel. 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 Sitting on my bed, so it's kind of a fandango, you know what I mean? It's kind of a fandango. But it is what it is. There, that's a little bit better. As long as I don't move the bed. As long as I don't move the bed, it should be okay. I mean, you know what I mean? Let me turn this off. I'm drinking some. My feet are still a little bit cold, but that should change because I'm drinking a ginger with turmeric. It's just the ground turmeric, you know, the kind shake in a shaker. It's not fresh turmeric, but it might change because they've got turmeric here at the store. And ginger and fresh squeezed lemon and honey, and I put a little bit of extra um coconut sugar. Okay. So if you don't know about sugar, raw coconut sugar and the white sugar you buy at the store are two completely different animals. One is sugar and the other one is basically a chemical because it's just all jacked up. Why they do it? Because they want to jack your ass up. That's why. Okie dokie. So I've got my little thing here. It looks kind of nasty because I've had chocolate in it. I'm still experimenting with the hot chocolate. I almost got it down to a science, but I forgot to put a little bit of sea salt, and I didn't have any milk. Now, if you lived where the billionaires are here in California, if you lived where the billionaires are over in the Bay Area, over by San Francisco, you could get raw organic milk that has not been homogenized or pasteurized. Well, I don't know what it is, but it's raw organic milk. It hasn't been jacked up. I don't know why this one tastes the way it does. But anywho, yeah. So I'm still experimenting with it, but so far what I've found is that the coconut milk, there's a difference between coconut milk and coconut water, okay? And eventually people will start to know this stuff. There's a lot of people don't know what the hell's going on. Like, everybody knows that fish is good. Why? Because if you don't eat fish, you turn into a big stupid, and you can't build nothing, and you have to have other people build your shit for you, because you can't build something dependable to save your life, because you're a big stupid from the shit you eat. Okay? The shit that has been poisoned. Where other people who don't eat that crap are not in Stupidsville. Hence, that's why they're building all of the stuff for us. Right? Because we're like big stupids, dude. How long have they been poisoning us with this crap? Making us dumb. Right? Now the other nations are coming to feast on us like freaking vultures. So, I'm going to show you something. It's pretty damn good. Okay, so I want to show you something. What's going on? Now, before I show you anything, I want to tell you that there's a bunch of people on here, phonies. There's a war going on right now. There's a war going on between these people who have been poisoning you, okay? And they don't want to stop poisoning you because they're raking in the money with their brothers and their brother-in-laws and their friends of their brother-in-laws who are in another industry who are raking in the cash from you being not well. It's not like taking your TV or VCR in to get repaired or your car to get repaired. Okay? Each customer they get, some of their customers, they get $300,000 a year. Okay? From this crap. That's why they don't want to stop poisoning your ass. They have to siphon the money out of the system, right? Where everybody puts their money in together. Okay? The government has all these, they write out freaking checks. They write out stimulus checks. They bail out the car industries with billions and billions of dollars. Where do you think that money's coming from? It's coming from the kitty. They have to siphon this money out of the kitty. Okay? This is how they steal the wealth from the people and they hoard it for themselves. Okay? This is one of the methods they use by making you sick. Okay? And so the state of California is going to sue these mofos because they know they're doing it on purpose. Okay? And so I was telling you about the coconut milk that I've been using. And so I'm trying to use it to make the hot chocolate, but in the meantime, in between time, I've used it in my other places where you would normally use milk. You know, like when some people cook squash, right? Is it called zucchini? When they cook squash, they put milk in it. Okay? Butter, milk, and some seasonings. And then you can add chicken, you can put tomato sauce. And well, I put instead because I ran out of milk actually, right? But I said, well, we put milk in there, so why not use some coconut milk, right? I think the only reason why they call it coconut milk is because it's white, right? It's liquid and it's white and it looks like milk. I think that's the only reason they call it, you know, you know how they have almond milk, coconut milk, whatever of these things. That's the only reason they call it milk. And but anyhow, so the coconut milk, I took it and I put it into the vegetables and it thickens up the vegetables. It's like you're adding cornstarch to it. But unlike cornstarch, you know, after you put cornstarch in and it thickens the vegetables, then after a little while, after it sets, then it turns back into like pure liquid. The coconut milk doesn't do that. It stays thick. Okay. Um, I don't know if the temperature or anything has something to do with it, but I'm really pleased with the coconut oil. I moved off the GMO corn oil because you know anything that's made out of corn is going to be GMO because there's nothing but GMO corn, right? So I moved off the corn oil. One thing the GMO corn oil is good for making diesel fuel for your car, okay? And way better than the other diesel fuel that's made out of old dinosaurs, okay? And so anyhow, so I figured that out about the coconut oil. I'm barely learning how to use this, so it's really, really good for making vegetables. Really, really good. So I just barely discovered this. This is basically Chinese Asian cooking. They've known this forever. When you go down and you buy Chinese food, this is what it has in it. Apparently, right? They have coconuts like they have more coconuts than you can shake a stick at. Which, by the way, this business that I was telling you about, let me check my signal. So we got a sunny day here. I see two people in the room.
So we got a sunny day.
Okay, there we go. And the business that I was telling you about, well, I happened to watch somebody this morning, and I found out that down in Los Angeles, you can actually get all kinds of good quality produce from Mexico. You know that the produce from Mexico is light years better than the produce we got here, right? And because they have the most fertile soil anywhere in on the continent. And they've got all this produce down in Los Angeles, and there's this guy he's showing you. And they've got a whole bunch of organic, and they got stuff that's not organic, but they got tons and tons of coconuts just ready for somebody to start a business, right? The business that I was telling you about. If you want to pull this nation out of Stupidsville, it's a no-brainer that we need a shop like that place that sells coffee, Starbucks, like a Starbucks, but that does not sell coffee, that sells health drinks like coconut water, right? They're just sitting there waiting for somebody to start a business. And pineapple juice, all fresh squeezed with all the enzymes. You know that people buy freaking nutritional supplements to get the enzymes from pineapples, right? Pineapples, along with the beet juice and carrot juice that we're all familiar with, right? All different juices, celery juice, everything. There's fruits that you've never even heard of down there. They've even got mangosteens. Back 15 years ago, they were selling a bottle of mangosteen juice for like $25. Now it's finally caught on to where you can actually buy the fruit fresh. They have it in Los Angeles. Why isn't it here? Because they don't want your ass to have nothing. The same reason why they don't have no fish. Well, if you live in a one-horse town where I live, right? Try to find some red snapper in this town. Try to find some lean cod. The only thing you're going to find in a one-horse town, which are prevalent across the whole United States, you got thousands and thousands of these one-horse towns. That's why there's more freaking Dollar General stores and Family Dollar stores than you can shake a stick at. Do you think one of them's going to sell you any good seafood? No, because they're all in it together. Okay? If you live in a big town, go where the smart people are. The people who don't live in Stupidsville. The people who actually build technology. Who are they? The Asians. You know why I know they're smarter? Because they freaking outperform college students in college tests like they were dealing with freaking mentally challenged individuals. Asians outperform us like there was no tomorrow on college tests. Okay? And follow what they're doing. Go look at their fish stores. They're bringing in the fish from the ocean, not this farm-raised fish. Okay, that's all I've got here is farm-raised fish, but that's what I'm going to have. Farm-raised fish because that's all that's available. So you have these people going in. You have these people going in trying to spook everybody. And I want to show you this. Oh, now it disappeared because I was checking my signal. Anyhow, I'll tell you. there's this on the shorts. There's this girl who comes out, and she starts out, red meat will make you sick. This will make you this, and fish will give you mercury poisoning. This and what do I eat? And she's eating some ice, right? And the air is polluted, trying to make it seem like there's no hope, right? And like there's some kind of problem that can't be solved, right? They can't solve the problem of how to get good food to the people. It's a problem with, we to keep it fresh and stuff like this. No, that's not the problem. The problem is these mofos are freaking poisoning your ass. That's the problem. Okay? And she goes, well, what did people eat back in 2,000 years ago? And she does a complete flip. It doesn't make freaking sense. Right? And she does a complete flip and she says meat and potatoes and eggs or chicken, right? And so number one thing people used to eat is bread. Worldwide, people lived on bread. Okay? So what do you think the first thing they're gonna freaking destroy is the bread? Right now, the only bread that I could find on Walmart's shelf, the big shelf, it's got loaded with freaking breads, all different kinds of bread. Pure grain bread, 100%, grains and whole wheat, and it's all freaking bullshit. The only bread that I found up there that's real bread that hasn't been freaking destroyed is Dave's Killer Bread. Okay, and it comes from San Francisco, where all the multi-billionaires are. The highest concentration of multi-billionaires in the United States is in the Bay Area, California. Okay? Where do you think they're getting their fish from? The ocean. Those orange fish, red snapper, lingcod, all that stuff fresh out of the ocean, not crap that they grow on a farm. Even though that's all I've got over here is stuff that they grow on a farm, tilapia. That's your choice. That's all you get in a one-horse town. They're doing it on purpose. You don't think they can bring in some good fish here? No, it's just that there's not enough Asian population here. You follow the Asian population and look at where their stores over there. They're going to have a fish store there that has all different kinds of seafood straight from the ocean. Okay? So if you're in Fresno, California, consider yourself lucky. Go down to the fish market in Chinatown. Okay? And get yourself some of that orange fish. But yeah, so the main thing is this. There is somebody on these YouTube live streams and he's showing you this stuff. Okay? Kevin Trudeau told you about this 25 years ago. That's why these people are finally catching on. Okay? And so I'm studying all this stuff myself. I'm just confused too. I'm like, what the hell? And they're getting more and more sneaky with this crap. But they're doing it on purpose. And last night I had some, because I'm almost run out of food, right? I need to make a run to Walmart because that's the only place you can get organic food. You can't get it in a one-horse town. And so I'm running out of food, so I had a can of chili beans. And I've discovered that a lot of the products from Walmart, the Great Value brand, which I used to brag about a lot, they're freaking doing it too. Okay? Because I had a can of chili con carne. Okay? I bought the chili con carne. You have chili con carne with beans, chili con carne with no beans. I just happened to get the chili con carne with no beans this time. And so that's all I had. I figured I'd just, put some chili con carne and put some cheese in it, and I have some corn tortillas. And and so as soon as, because I've been eating healthy food, right? I've been eating vegetables and eggs, and I'm watching this stuff. I completely stopped eating that freaking what they call bread. It's not bread. It's freaking glue and starch. Everything, every single last mineral element that is good for you, which this is supposed to be the number one superfood on planet Earth. Every last thing that's good for you, they take it out of it and leave you with two things: glue and starch. Okay? And so I completely just stopped anything that freaking says bleached flour or enriched flour or bleached enriched flour. I'm boycotting that crap because it's freaking poison. You eat that stuff and you just start bloating and freaking, right? And so um so I'm learning all this stuff myself. Been eating stuff, vegetables and things like this. So I only had this, and I went over there and I poured some in there, and I went to go take a bite of it. I put Swiss cheese on my corn tortilla, and and I actually had some egg in there too. I put the egg on top of the bean, on top of the chili con carne. And I went to take a bite of it, and it tastes like I freaking was eating pure salt. That's how much freaking sodium they're putting in this stuff. They're loading the stuff up with enough sodium and freaking ultra processed white sugar to kill an elephant. That's their go-to. And then they're putting in these other things. So the things that I'm staying away from, number one, is the the bleached, enriched flour, or bleached, enriched flour, whichever way they want to put it, right? If it doesn't say wheat flour on it, and that's it, I'm staying away from all that crap. Okay? It's in the crackers, it's in the bread, and that stuff. That's one. That's the main one. That's the main. This is criminal what they're doing, because they're not stupid. Like I told you, wheat was the number one thing people used to eat because I guess God made it like a nutritional super powerhouse. It has 40 of the 44 essential minerals that the body needs. And you know what these clowns do on top of it? Besides taking everything out that's good for it, you know what these freaking clowns are doing? Before they harvest it and send it to the processor to turn it into wheat flour, they spray that shit with freaking Roundup. How freaking criminal is that? Okay, so I'm staying away from that unbleached wheat flour. I'm staying away from freaking sugar, because when it says sugar, that means it's the ultra processed refined sugar, which is not sugar like you find in nature. It's 80 or 90% sucralose, and your body can't handle it. It doesn't know what to do with it when it doesn't have the other thing to do whatever it's supposed to do. It's like a freaking chemical. So anything that says sugar, I'm staying away. I'm using raw coconut sugar. I just barely started using it yesterday, and it's pretty damn good. I'm drinking it right now. And so I'm staying away from anything that says sugar, which they freaking load up enough to kill an elephant in all the freaking soft drinks they're putting out there. Okay? And And so I'm staying away from that. Trying to get rid of the cytotoxins, which is monosodium glutamate. They started putting it in everything. The chili con carne has it in it. Okay. They started putting this stuff back in everything. A while back, I said, you know what? As long as it's mixed with some good vegetables, that's okay. And now they freaking flooded everything with it. And we don't need it in there. I think you can make good food without it. And so I'm staying away from that. And some of the other things. What are the other things? If I look at a label, you can say, modified cornstarch, because that spikes your blood sugar, right? And natural flavors, staying away from that crap. And food dyes, the synthetic food dyes, FDC yellow, FDC red, and all that bull crap. And the natural flavors, staying away from that. And just trying to figure out as I go along. But I think the number one thing that's jacking people up is they are not letting that good seafood get to these little one horse towns. All they got here is the farm raised bullcrap. There's no reason for it other than they just want you to get sick by eating their garbage. Okay? There's no reason why you can't supply these towns with some fresh fish out of the ocean, like the people who are not living in Stupidsville are getting. Okay? Like the Asian communities are getting. And so that's all I've got for right now. Because I saw that girl come on here and she tried to make it look like, like everything's polluted, like, there's no, like, what are you going to do? Right? Educate yourself a little bit and pay attention and realize that these mofos are doing this crap on purpose. Okay. What else is going on right now? I would comment on some political stuff, but I don't want to go there. You want to listen to some people? There's plenty of people talking about it. I'll refer you to them a little bit later. So I think that's all I've got for right now. Like right now, let me see if there's anything on here, and then I'll just end the video. Yeah, that's all I've got for right now. Okay. Make sure you check out the video that I've posted. Because these reptilian shapeshifters are some tricky rascals, and they're talking about everything under the sun except for what's going on right here, the oppression that's going on right here, the people who are living out on the freaking street right here, right? They're talking about everything else under the sun except for that. What they're doing to the people right here in the USA. These freaking devils. And the documentary is on my Facebook right now. It's called America, Freedom to Fascism. Okay, this is what the people should be talking about. But they're not, because they're so freaking living in freaking Dumbosville, because they jacked up their mind so bad by poisoning their bodies. The mind and the body are inseparable. If the body's sick, the mind will be sick. If the mind is sick, the body will be sick. Okay? And so who's doing it are the devils, the fallen angels, the extraterrestrials, the ones who have been the rulers since day one. They hit the ground running. Okay. And so you have a few whistleblowers out here who I have been saying, yes, they're whistleblowers and they're telling us all the stuff. That's where we get the information from. This book right here tells you about it. The Biggest Secret. There's also another book called And the Truth Shall Set You Free, which is an excellent book. Check it out on Amazon. There's another book called Tales from the Time Loop. Okay? Check these books out. You'll love them. Okay? Awesome books, awesome covers, way better cover than here. But this book tells you about the freaking devils. If you remember the last five presidents in the United States, you will be amazed. You will not believe it. Okay? Chapter 16 of The Biggest Secret by David Icke. You don't have to spend a dime. You can go to my Facebook and read it for free. I have a link where you can read it for free. Okay? Go to chapter 16 and read who these devils are. He names them by name. If it wasn't true, don't you think they would have taken him to freaking court and sued him for libel, for slander, for defamation of character? Okay? A lot of names in there. You will not believe it. What these things are doing. You think freaking, what's that island called? Epstein's Island. Epstein Island ain't got nothing on what these mofos are doing right here in the United States. Your neighbors, they live here. And so these fallen angels, devils, extraterrestrials, I told you, I think these people who are telling us about them are extraterrestrials themselves. Okay? Has anybody ever asked him, are you an extraterrestrial? Nobody's ever asked him. What's his name? Ventura. That one Ventura guy. I think he used to be governor or mayor of one of these cities around here. I forgot his first name. Something Ventura. He put him on the spot and asked him, he said, do you think I'm one? Which Ventura's probably one himself too. But so I told you, these whistleblowers, these guys are millionaires. Okay? They're making money. I think Alex Jones is a billionaire with a B. And then Kevin Trudeau used to be a multimillionaire. He had freaking gold bars, dude. More freaking gold bars that you can shake a stick at. House in Malibu, house in San Diego, house in Chicago, house in freaking Germany. Traveling all around the world until they threw his ass in jail in 2014 because he was telling you these things for 10 years. The longest prison sentence for contempt of court in United States history, and mainstream media didn't tell you a word about it. Well, I think these people are actually extraterrestrials themselves. So I'm keeping tabs on them. The three main ones are David Icke, Alex Jones, and Kevin Trudeau. Okay? So I'm keeping tabs on these people. So now, David Icke, was banned on YouTube for 5 years because he was telling people that the pandemic was a freaking scam. He was out there on the road with the megahorn telling people it's a freaking scam. So they kicked him off of YouTube 5 years ago. Last month, they let him back on YouTube, just out of the blue. He's on YouTube now. And so I watched the video that he made the day before, about 4 days ago, yesterday and the day before that, and yesterday. And he's talking about, well, Alex Jones is agreeing with the Orange Man, where 5 years ago he was saying that they shouldn't be messing around with other people's oil or this and that. And now Alex Jones is saying to go in there and get the oil, take that oil from Venezuela. Right? So this is a big old freaking clown show. They only tell you so much. Okay? They told you all the stuff. There's everything you need to know. Now, try not to throw away the baby with the bathwater when you read these books and he talks about religion and stuff, because the information is there, but they may be freaking these extraterrestrials themselves. You know what an extraterrestrial is? A fallen angel. They defected from heaven. I think what these fallen angels are doing, they defected from heaven down to earth. They were cast down to earth. They descended or ascended? Ascended to earth. Descended to earth. But now they are actually telling on these people, and they're defecting back from this world. They're defecting back to righteousness. At least these three are. Okay? But they are, still fallen angels, extraterrestrials. And this is a big freaking clown show. The real freaking thing that people should be paying attention to, if they weren't a bunch of selfish pigs, they would be watching the documentaries that Aaron Russo put out there years and years ago. Stood up against these freaking devils, dude. One of his documentaries has been taken off the market, but one of them is still available to watch easily, and that is America, Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. Okay? Watch that, because these are the real mofo pieces of crap freaking devils who are freaking causing all this homelessness in this country, oppressing the people. There's been $22 trillion given to help the homeless people in this country. Do you think that homeless people saw one freaking penny of it? Maybe a couple nights stay at a motel. Now they're back out on the streets. For $22 trillion, each one of those homeless people could have had a brand new house. Maybe not brand new, but they could have had a nice house, $300,000 house, $200,000 house. All of these homeless people could have been housed with that $22 trillion, but these freaking politician thieves stole it all. Even right here in California, in Fresno, there's 1,400 homeless people. They were given $750 million. That's almost $1 billion to help those homeless people who were there. 1,400 of them. Every one of them is on the freaking road right now. Not one of them has a freaking house, because these politicians stole all the money. They went, oh, well, we're going to buy them this hotel and we're going to renovate it. It's a big pile of shit sitting out there with freaking fence sitting around it. They took the money and run. Just like everybody else in the state did. That was almost $1 trillion. I mean, that was almost $1 billion. They were given $22 billion in California. Okay? And this is supposed to be the most wealthy state. Why don't they just fork out a cool $1 trillion? Right? And anyhow, so just take that into consideration. These whistleblowers who are telling on the extraterrestrials, they've been here from day one. These fallen angels, these extraterrestrials, these reptilian shapeshifters, they're probably extraterrestrials themselves. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for leaving comments. Thanks for double tapping the screen. I don't know why this one is dark, but I could barely even read the let me see over here. Okay, I see you. Noah, thanks for leaving a comment. Hardy, thanks for leaving a comment. And we'll talk to you all on the next live stream. Signing out from Central Valley, California. This January. Why it's dark? Because the battery's about to wear out. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll bring you some more information a little bit later.